Hi everybody, this is Priska and Christina with this week's Truth Bombs and Blooper. Is there something that you have changed this week, that you have a new perspective on, or something that you want to change, that you as a result of this time that you are now going through in this pandemic?
I think that's a good one. I think yesterday I've had a mastermind call with my mastermind sisters, and what like really stood out is about this, like, to these core desired feelings by Danielle Laporte. I think everybody maybe has heard of them, but I think they're amazing concept of just these core desired feelings. We all have these core desired feelings, how we want to feel in our everyday life. And like to really get back to those and see, okay, how do I want to feel? And how can I create these feelings no matter what? You know, like even if I'm under lockdown, or even if I cannot live my life the way I used to live it. And that this concept of the end, you know, like often we think in black and white, we think we can have this or we can have that. It's also what we've learned as kids, right? You can either get the candies, or I don't know, like,
yep,
like the
you have to decide.
You have to decide exactly this or that. And to going back to this end concept, like, okay, how can I combine these things? I want to feel like this and like that. How can I bring these things together? And of course, we are called to be creative and to really step up and to think out of the box. And this is, of course, connected with effort. And in the beginning, we feel like, oh, I don't want to do that, you know, like it's so much, I don't know, it's like, it's not how I used to work. But there is so much, there's so much potential when we get creative and think about how can I, for example, you know, very practically, like for example, my wedding that is coming up, which I don't know if it's going through or not. So to think, if it's not going through, because we're going to decide at the end of May if it's going through or not, how can I still, based on my core desired feelings, how can I still make the best out of that? And how does this look like? You know, am I going to postpone the whole wedding, or are we still getting married legally if we can, and make something very small and like celebrate later? Or like, how does this translate into our core desired feelings in this time? Because maybe even something even better comes out of it, because we can celebrate more than once, you know, something that we never even thought about, because everybody's just used to, you know, you get married and then you like have one party, like, like in our countries, right? In Switzerland or the Netherlands, where we're coming from. And like, yeah, maybe there's even much more juice when we can get creative around that and just play with that, and like getting curious and not being stuck in this, oh no, somebody's robbing me from an opportunity, to being stuck in this victim mentality, but really stepping out of that and getting creative. I think this is really the thing where I felt like, okay, like getting back into control, you know, because we all want some kind of a sense of control, even if we don't have it in the end. But like, it's like still we have things we can control. And this is mostly about how we feel and think about things.
Yeah, and even more than control, I think it's allow, because it's happening for you, and maybe controlling things is still holding on to what we want. So if we take this as an example, what's your core desired feeling in that? Could you already distill it down to the core?
I actually didn't do it yet, but it's like just I have these three, like, that are always arching my whole life. It's like truth, freedom, and love. And these are like these three pillars that I often wonder, you know, when I make a decision, is it like anchored in love, freedom, and truth? And if it doesn't, it isn't, or it doesn't feel like it, then I feel like, okay, then it's not for me. So like, how can I, like, I don't know yet how it's translating for me, but it's just more this playfulness that I get around it. And I know that Boss, because it's just only yesterday I realized that, and Boss and I, we still want to wait till end of May until we decide yes, no, and then we want to get more, you know, okay, how can we still make this the best wedding for us?
Yeah, but that's a very important thing, and I think we touched on it a little last week, that we are often scared to go one way because we connect it to a fear that might be triggering us on the way, and the fear is based of a past past experience.
Yes.
And we are afraid to relive it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we think of this maybe there's another way, a shortcut. We need to allow it, and
100%.
we need to trust, and we need to surrender to
the
next version. Yeah.
And I think that's the hard part,
Yeah.
right? When we cannot, because again, we
Yeah.
need some kind of sense of a control. We humans often, we think it's like where the power lies, and sometimes it's really in the surrendering, where they're just saying, okay, I give it out of my hands, because just because I cannot, the wedding I thought was the best for me, it can still become the best for me. I just don't know it yet, because nobody has ever experienced it, or nobody feels the way I feel. So if I can be open to receive the best wedding possible for myself, no matter how this looks like, it's still possible. And of course you can translate this to anything. Like it can be just in the business, or in a wedding, another wedding, a birthday party, or anything actually. How can I still make the best out of whatever event there is for you out there?
Yeah, and I think this waves into what we are forced to do right now in this shift, as a collective, we shift more and more into the feminine energies, and controlling is so much about the masculine, the linear, the straightforward. And it's so important. And I mean, most of the women today, they're confused because they have been brought up in this masculine way, and a lot of women are men actually, or we have been, or we forgot how to surrender, how to receive
100%.
truly, and this is coming up strongly in us, that we need to relearn it. Not just the women, also men need to.
Yeah. And it's so fascinating you're saying that, because actually this is one of the biggest blocks that we're working through with women in our work, relationship parts, that women say, I don't know how to be feminine anymore. I don't have no clue how to be feminine, especially when they're high achieving women, like you and I, having their businesses, thriving for things, getting things, and they really did not, they have lost this, these feminine qualities within. And also men, of course, because they are in this patriarchy that we have been living in for millennia. We did not know. It was just being seen as a weakness in some kind of way. And it's about relearning these things, exactly what you said, because also the feminists, I'm so grateful for them. But the thing is, what they have taught us is not to be feminine, it's just become better men. You can be like men, but we're not like men. Women are not like men, we're different. But it's about seeing a strength in these qualities that I think that live within men and women. We all have these energies, and it's about this dance, togetherness, about the feminine and the masculine. How can we serve each other? And that's what it's about.
And I mean, it is confusing because we never learn it at school. When we go to a normal public school in these ages, you learn to remember facts and numbers, and then you kind of go your whole academic journey through by you raise the ladder by remembering things and giving this remembered infos back to a teacher. And that's how you step. And I mean, no wonder nobody's connected to their intuition and their higher wisdom. And
very true.
Where should we? And most things we look at, I mean, I'm looking out a square window. It's square. The buildings are square. And I read this somewhere last week. I mean, to really bring out the feminine qualities or energies inside of us, we should look outside round windows and round buildings and temples like they used to be in a round shape, because the feminine energy is not straight lines.
No, that's beautifully put, very beautifully put. There's something else I wanted to to hook in, but I forgot what you said. So I think it was something.
So maybe Priska, because you are very much in this subject of feminine, masculine energies, for the listeners, some key points. What's the masculine? What's the feminine?
Of course, it's like, again, as we said, it's like in both. It has nothing to do with gender in sense of that is like man and this is a woman. It's really about in everything. But like what you said, like the female is really this, like this softness, the surrendering, the receiving, the like the dancing, the fluid, the like just going with the flow. This is the feminine quality.
Yeah, the curve,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like everything that is just, you know, like the water, feelings, like chaos as well, submission, all these things that are like in this feminine qualities.
Well, receiving the intuition and creation,
absolutely. Not creating just babies, but we can create babies right in our bodies. So like everything creation, creative, like artsy, this all goes into the feminine qualities. While the masculine is really more, you know, the controlling, the protector as well, but the straightforward, like having a goal, being straightforward, by being direct. Like everything is structured, it's rational, it's planned. That's very much in the masculine.
Yeah.
And as you just said, it's like what we have, like this is what like the patriarchy is all about, these qualities, right? Like everything like rational is like praised, and everything that is chaos and like just unstructured is or like just receiving is some kind of negative, or negative, like more weak. And also what we have learned often is like being feminine is like being like our mothers who have to cook, being in the, you know, like take care of the kids. This is what we thought is feminine, but that's not how it is. It's, of course, it's a, like, for example, caring is also one of the feminine things, but it's not what a woman has to do. It's like always mixed up with like feminine has to be what women do and masculine is what men have to do, and this is not the truth. It's just a quality that we bring on the table. And the important thing in relationships is that we have these polarities, because if the man is like fully in his feminine and the female is fully in her feminine, then there's no polarity. It just doesn't work. There has to be some like magnetic energy. This can also work that the woman is totally in her masculine and the man is in his feminine, or of course it's like always a dance of both of these things. But like in general, like people have just forgotten about these qualities and about that dance of these qualities and what it brings to us, because it actually creates aliveness and it creates life energy.
Can
you still hear me? Because my connection is somehow weak, it said.
Yeah, I realized the whole day was very weak connection.
Me too. I hope
something's going on.
Yes.
You froze at one point. You froze when you talked about the masculine, but
and I always freeze like this. I never freeze like a normal person.
No, nobody does. Nobody does. Yeah, and I think it's also very important to honor those two, the masculine and the feminine within. So sometimes I feel I'm too much in my masculine, and I feel like I get this cortisol rising inside. I get really stressed. I feel like I cannot breathe. And then it's best for me to take a bath, to relax, or change into comfortable clothes, or go for a nature walk, or meditate, to really go into this nurturing, receiving mode. And sometimes I feel like I'm too much in my feminine. I'm not getting anything done. So what I do then? Okay, let's get into, I think really this this dance within yourself to realize where am I out of balance today, and also within a relationship and the partnership, when he is too much in his masculine, she really needs to be in her feminine to soften him, and vice versa, maybe.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Yes, so beautifully said. And this is where the magic begins, right? When we can start this beautiful dance. This is why I'm not for a matriarchy right now. I don't think that we should, like, the women should take over. What I would like really think would be beneficial for our society is when we would have this co-creation where the masculine is serving the female and the female is serving the masculine, and we have this beautiful dance of both, you know, male and female, men and women together as a union. I really think this is what we need now.
Yeah. And nature, I mean, yeah, when we think of the moment of conception, it's such a perfect symbol for that.
That's it.
You know, the egg has been created, it's waiting.
Yes.
It's waiting, and the sperm can do their straightforward work. And then
the race begins,
the magic happens.
And then the magic happens. Yeah. It's beautifully put there. And this is also where, like, the archetypal, like, thing of like the feminine and the male comes from in the end. Like, this is how life is created, right? When both come together. So I love that conversation. It's so funny that you bring that up, because we didn't want to go there, but it just came up, and it's one of my
I think it's really
topics.
Important. Yeah, because as we talked about it now a lot, we're shifting, and I think it's so important that this knowledge is being spread about what has been happening to the feminine energy, which has been men have been scared about, because in the very, very old days they admired the women because they were able to create life, and they were able to have this ability, and then it got suppressed by the masculine force. And now we're shifting into another paradigm where to save this planet, in fact,
it's needed.
We need to think in a feminine way. We need to feel like everything, every being, every leaf, every flower has a soul, and we need to nurture it, and we need to nurture the connections, and we need to receive from a more intuitive level than just by let's
no
create
what
this line or this border, and then we have a war because this is you and this is me and this is I think that's why it's really important that we share this knowledge right now, as we are hopefully shifting.
I think something is shifting in everyone, and I also think I really pray that also in the bigger picture something is shifting. And it's what you said, it's so needed that we start to be more compassionate, and I think compassion is a very female attribute. No, how you say that? Like quality. And about really embodying this compassion more and more. And you know, I also see so many, we talked about it also, or we shortly talked about in another episode about, you know, the conspiracy theorists versus the mass media people. And also there, in the end, it doesn't even matter where the truth lies, because in the end we don't know. We just can't. Even if we think we know, we just don't, because maybe there's even a bigger picture which we cannot fathom. And but it's not about you against me.
No,
it's about how can we co-create something new together as humanity, no matter what you believe. It's about how can we come together and create something new together.
I mean, why feed the garbage even more? I feel like this is like, again, judgment, and he's the bad boy, and they did this to them, and then you're feeding this war quality, and that's not what we need. We need solutions.
Yes, and we need togetherness.
Yeah.
And this still can be done in a fierce way. It's not about, you know, we have to do everything soft spoken and, you know, like everything has to be now super gentle. I don't believe in that, because, you know, I have a lot of warrior quality in me, and I always talked about that a lot. Because when you say, I always see you like rubbing, like in the mud, like, I have that a lot in myself. And if I'm fiery about something, I want to express it in a fiery way. this doesn't mean that we have to be super, you know, gentle, but we can be fierce and still be compassionate. It can totally work together. And I think this is what we also need, this clarity, this, you know, this is what we like, just stepping up and sharing our voice, or using our voice for the things that are important to us.
Yeah, yeah, to help wake up this whole planet to what this really is and what's happening in the matrix and everything. So but to come back to this image where you are going through the mud, I see it more like you want to dig deep. You're not someone who's interested in the surface level, to scratch on the surface. You really want to go into the deep mud and see what the core of something is.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a truth seeker. I certainly am. Even if I know that the ultimate truth probably will never be revealed, and it's okay, but I want to get as close as I can. You know, like, yeah. But
little truth, but week by week.
Yes, exactly. 1 week after the other. Yeah, but I always have to laugh because there are more pictures you actually planted in my head, but this is one I always keep coming back to. I don't know what the word is.
I know
for that.
which one.
I know also you know which one. Oh my God. We're not going to talk about this one here. Nope.
No.
Oh
my God. Crawling. I see it like crawling through the mud.
Yes.
Crawling like in the army.
Yes. Yeah. Even though, well, I have been working in the army, but as an actress, not as
that's true. Yeah,
as an army person. No, but that's kind of funny. So I think this is what we really need: this clarity, this like fire, and in general, just this compassion and this gentleness for everything.
Yeah, and I think right now, the clarity for what's happening now, or what are we doing with our time right now, is shaking a bit. But I think the overall clarity is there. We just need to trust it.
Yeah, it's there and it's not there. I think it's always there, and then it's kind of slips through the fingers, and like, oh, where was it again? You know, like this is what I'm seeing a bit. Also myself, that I feel I'm often like, well, I think we all are confused, you know, that something happens and then we're caught up in a different story again. But if we can come back to this truth somehow, that it's all about connection, all about compassion, about union, then we have some star in the head. How do you say that? Fixed star.
North Star.
Thank you very much. Yeah. We can just, you know, like just keep the direction that we want to go to. And this is also why we think it's so important to have these core desired feelings on a smaller level for the guidance in our personal life, and the North Star of, you know, like this truth that is like the bigger picture, so we can create levels on these guiding systems for ourselves.
So maybe for the viewers and listeners, can you briefly explain how you get to your core desires? Just like you tune into the words or the qualities. I mean, there's a few steps behind.
I don't even remember how Daniela Port does it anymore. Maybe you can say more about how she does it. For me, it's more about just feeling into like words and the vibration of words, because sometimes like it's a different word, but it's not saying, or it's saying the same thing, but it's a slightly different word and it has a different vibration, and it just feels like, oh, this feels juicy. This is where it's like a switch on and off, where I feel like, oh, there's not like, or it's just half on and not really on, but like this word is really capturing how I want to feel. It's like, oh, I immediately have some physical response to this word, and this is how I want to feel. So every time when I actually even just hear the word or read the word, I feel immediately this this turn on inside me. This is why I do it,
because it's like so connected to your authentic truth that it's kind of a mirror for yourself, who you are, right?
Yes.
And it's kind of like a switch on to your vibration.
And for example, this truth, love, freedom thing, it's actually, this came to me when I was in Jerusalem, when I was walking the La Via Dolorosa. I don't even know how to say that. Like just this last walk of Jesus to the cross. I know that I'm a very Christian person, but like still have a very deep connection with Christ and with Mary Magdalene. That's actually the reason why I was there. But there came constantly this voice into my head, like the way of truth is the way into freedom and the way of love. And like also like this interconnection of love, truth, and freedom. So whenever I have these three together, this act like a code somehow, this activates me. And if I just see love on itself, it doesn't do the same, or just freedom on itself, you know, it has to be, and all in capital letters, funnily enough. So it's like when these three come together, there's this alchemy happening within me where I feel like, oh, there's the juice. That's what I want. And that's so interesting, like, because I, you know, if you think about this, it just actually came to me. And this is why these three pillars. And of course there's these three pillars, but I can still build on, because for example, connection is also a very important one to me. But I really realizing that I have to redefine them, because the old ones are not working anymore the way they were working. The old ones on these three pillars.
Yeah, and it also depends on which level. Is it on the macro level or the micro level? And I think that's, we come back to the beginning when you said, for instance, your wedding. If you come back to the micro level, that you want freedom, love, and what was the third one? Truth. Then okay, let's focus on that, and what kind of solution. Then maybe I don't even need X, Y, Z. If I really want to experience the core, then maybe there are many other. And often we are confused with a desire or a dream. And when we really distill it down to the core, we realize, oh, actually, that's not what I need. When I go back to the core, there's something else that I really want to manifest.
Yeah, it's like it's always about the feeling, right?
It's really important.
I'm frozen again, am I not?
Yeah. Frozen.
Am I here again?
Yes, you're back.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
No, it's always about the feeling. We think we want, for example, $1 million or euros or Swiss francs, depending on where we're living. But in the end, it's maybe safety that we actually are craving for, or freedom, or both, or, you know, like just figuring out what is actually the emotion under this thing that I want to create in my life. Also the wedding, what is the wedding standing for? This is where I still feel I have to do some refining work, because when I have these little diamonds, I know that we can also have a beautiful wedding in a different way, if it has to be. Maybe it's still going through, who knows? I don't take that off the plate yet.
Surrender, trust.
Surrender, because I really want you to do my my ceremony.
Yes, of course. We will do it. We will do it somehow.
No matter where and how.
Yeah. And I think we are, it needs work to do these, to find this clarity. It's not just flying to you. You really need to go and deep dive to, I think, and now is the possibility to change something.
We have the possibility, and we have the time. Many people have time now to really look into all these things and feel into these things.
And I think not even, I mean, time, maybe a lot of people are even more stressed now with homeschooling and doing everything at the same time. But I think we have the possibility to have stepped out of the pattern and the maybe the jobs or the whatever we have been doing, and we realize, oh, actually this lifestyle suits me much better. Or if I don't need to go there, I have much more energy, and suddenly I'm drawn to this. And I think that's where the chances are to really change something which didn't make me happy, which didn't give me any energy.
100%. Yeah, to reevaluate everything, right?
Yeah,
like to just
exactly
look into these things. Yeah, because maybe you realize, oh, I actually love being at home all day long. Maybe I want to start a business, an online business, or I want to like ask my boss if I can work from home in the future.
Yeah.
I don't know, just all these things, like we might like rediscover new qualities about ourselves, or we feel that, hey, I'm actually such a great leader because I took over so much stuff right now, or helped my community or whatever. You see, oh, maybe I want to explore that more. How can I be more of a leader, or like step more in the community manner? I don't know, like just something, like just getting again creative and thinking out of the box, because we're being taken out of the box.
And exactly, and we can really do the things we love to do now.
Yeah. Is there something else we need to touch base on?
Yeah, so maybe give yourself homework this week, or give yourself a moment to really ask yourself, what are my core desires, in 3 words.
Powerful. And I, by the way, did not ask you about your insight of the week. Maybe you have one last truth bombs to share in the group.
I think I shared it, this realization of really surrendering to the receiving, and because I felt like I was a bit too much in the doing the last weeks, and I felt like I felt a bit wobbly on my feet, because I felt like I've been doing so much inner work, and now something wants to express and manifest and go out or speak out and create something, but I don't really know what that is, and feeling a bit shaky. And then I realized, if I really surrender to my feminine more, and which for me always means going out to nature and just learning from nature, and receiving this energy, that I immediately feel filled up, and then I can be creative again. And from everything we talked, that was kind of the truth bombs that I have collected over the week, which a lot has been doing with this feminine masculine energy balance within myself. We're so used to being the masculine, and we feel guilty if we're not doing
100%. Yeah, like the being busy is very, it's glorified being busy, right? And otherwise you're lazy.
Yeah.
So, but we are a human being and not a human doing, so we really need to get back to that, and to see, okay, like, because sometimes the being is the work, like being is the work, without like just relaxing, listening to our intuition, like letting things realign, letting things happen, like surrendering, giving it to a bigger bigger force, or like just giving it to somebody else, that can be the work.
And asking for support, and letting things happen for you. And I also catched myself this week a lot when I realized my kids did their their homeschooling schedule, and then, for instance, my daughter felt like doing something completely else, like playing the piano, or helping her dad collect the groceries or something like that. And I thought, I immediately wanted to say, no, go back to your work. And I thought, no, I'm not going to say anything, because she's really following her desire. She's following her flow. When she feels like doing that, let her do that. And I really try hard to build this trust in my children, that they don't feel like they have to. And it's
hard to break out of that, because we're so conditioned to that, and we are so conditioned that this is the right thing. I see that too with me, like that I want to control things, or like think that this is the best for them, without just letting them discover what's best for them.
Well, I think
surrender. I think it's the word of the day. Surrender.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, so thank you so very much for
Thank you
beautiful talk.
again,
And
as always.
As always, yes. We would love to hear from you guys, like what your experiences are with masculine, feminine, the masculine, feminine parts within yourselves, maybe also within your relationships, and yeah, how
The core desires.
The core desire, exactly what you said, like these 3 core desired feelings that you actually want to embody in your life. And yeah, so happy that you're here. Thank you so very much, and have a wonderful time.
Have a wonderful week. Bye.
Bye. Is je nog daar? Of ik? Hello, it's
The door.
Oh,
Jetzt bist du da.
Jetzt müssen wir sagen, hallo, sie kriegen auch Preisle.
Preisle.
Wir sind hier für Truthbombs und für Bloopers.